Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back. So to my fellow Hyliion bag holders, we have won a great victory last week. So congratulations. And yes, I'm sure if you noticed that Hyliion stock did jump 30% last week when the news came out that they're releasing a new battery module that's going to be used in their powertrain solutions that they're building. And yes, I know that the stock did pull back 9% at the end of the week, but it's still up massively for the week. So today we're going to talk about this battery module, and we're going to look at this announcement, and I'm going to share some of my opinions about it. So let's jump in. Now, first of all, this is unrelated to Hyliion, but a lot of you have been asking me to try out Newton for cryptocurrency purchasing. Now, before I was kind of hesitant on opening up another account and dealing with another exchange because ShakePay has been working out pretty well for me as well. But you guys insist that Newton has lower fees, and they also have more options available like Litecoin and Stellar Lumens and whatnot. So I was like, what the heck? Let me give it a try, right? So I did open up a Newton account, and so far, I gotta say it's been pretty good. Now, I'm not being paid to say this or anything like that, so this is just my genuine opinion. The fees are noticeably lower than on ShakePay. So I'm still going to keep my ShakePay account open though, just because I think it's good to have multiple accounts on multiple exchanges, just because I know that exchanges have been known to go down when things get crazy in the crypto world. Yeah, if you want to give Newton a spin, I'll leave a referral link down below where you can get a $25 bonus when you deposit your first $100. Now, full disclosure, as always, this is a referral link, so you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but if you do, it does help me out, helps out this channel, and it would be greatly appreciated. As well, the usual ShakePay link will also be down below, and the bonus for that is $30. Okay, anyways, on to Hyliion. So, what happened exactly for those of you who are not caught up? Well, last week Hyliion showed off their battery module, which will be used for both their hybrid solution and the upcoming Hypertruck ERX system. And in particular, let me show off what's so special about this new battery module. So, this battery module uses lithium titanate oxide, or LTO, battery cells instead of your typical lithium-ion battery cells. Now, I'm not a battery expert, but from what I understand, there are pros and cons to LTO batteries as opposed to lithium-ion batteries. So let's first go through some of the pros. So the first advantage is longer life. And when I say longer life, I don't mean longer life per charge, but like total life, like the duration of how long the battery lasts before you have to replace the whole thing. Now, the battery degrades much slower than your typical EV batteries. Hyliion claims that it can last as much as 5 times longer than the average conventional EV battery. So this is very important because the major stumbling block to getting transport industry or to get these like logistic companies to adopt Hyliion's technology is the durability of these powertrain solutions. So you really need these systems to be very low maintenance since logistics companies want their trucks to spend as much time on the road as possible instead of just getting repaired or getting their batteries replaced because something broke or anything like that. So there's also other advantages like faster charging times and safety. And you know, I don't want to say that these are not important because obviously they are. However, I say that these are not as important because the Hypertruck ERX system, remember, is going to have a natural gas tank, so it's going to work in conjunction with the battery module, so you can actually charge the battery as you're driving. So you're on the road anyways, so it doesn't matter if it takes like 8 minutes to charge or 20 minutes to charge, but it's still nice to see these advantages too. So overall, this is great. Now on to the cons, right? So what's the catch to LTO technology? Well, the disadvantage to LTO batteries is that they aren't as energy dense compared to lithium ion, meaning that they don't pack as much of a punch as lithium-ion batteries per kilogram of battery added. Now, this isn't that big of a deal in my opinion because remember, that's what the natural gas is for, right? So the battery itself doesn't need to be very energy dense because natural gas is what's the energy dense part of the system. So I keep on referring back to this chart where it shows the range of the Hypertruck ERX versus other solutions made by other companies, and you can see that the range is already better than the competition. It's almost the same as diesel. Now, the other disadvantage to LTO batteries, though, is that they are supposedly more expensive than lithium ion, which is a slightly bigger deal in my opinion, because I think that you're just gonna have to wait for the battery technology to kind of catch up. So, the high price point is gonna deter maybe some companies from investing in Hyliion's technology. So this is a bigger concern. But then again, as I said, you just have to wait for the technology to improve, for the cost to come down. And there's not really a way around it unless you have some fundamental breakthrough on the manufacturing process itself, or like material science or something that will lower the cost. However, we're just gonna have to deal with the higher cost for now. Overall, though, I really do like this new development, and I'd really like to see Hyliion finally make some progress, right? So the stock was just down in the gutters for the longest time, and so many people just gave up on it. I've been reading the Hyliion Reddit page for a long time, and let me tell you, before this news came out, it was just all doom and gloom, and people were really starting to lose faith. And quite frankly, I just keep on seeing negative posts after negative posts about Hyliion, and I think it's really nice for me to see that my bullish thesis on Hyliion is finally slowly coming to fruition, and I think that battery news is just the first step. And I apologize for sounding like a broken record here. I know I say this in every video about Hyliion, but I'm going to say it again now. I think that we do need a different approach to electrifying the Class 8 semi-trucks than we do for consumer EVs. What I mean is, we can't just take the same formula that's worked for, let's say, the Tesla Model 3 or the Chevy Bolt or whatever, and then, or even the newer Chinese companies like XPeng or NIO. We can't just take the same formula and plug it into a Class 8 freight truck, no pun intended. We can't just take the same formula and plug it into a Class 8 semi-truck and expect it to work perfectly, right? So if you take a step back, you can see that the Class 8 semi-truck is a completely different product than your consumer EV, right? Obviously, you don't say. Hyliion is the only company that's doing something that I think that actually makes sense. And Hyliion is one of the only companies that actually understand the transport industry on a fundamental level, in my opinion. And last thing I will mention is that a lot of people seem to think that I hate hydrogen fuel cell technology for some reason. So let me just clarify some things, okay? So I don't hate hydrogen fuel cell. I actually love hydrogen technology. But my main gripe with hydrogen is that it's too expensive and there's just no infrastructure around it. So if hydrogen fuel was readily available and there was infrastructure around it, why would you use natural gas? Of course you will use hydrogen, right? It's cleaner, it's better, and it's actually zero emissions, right? So the point is that hydrogen is simply not ready, in my opinion, for it to be really practical at this point. And if you think differently, I'd really love to hear why I'm wrong. But the way I look at it now is that if I was the head of some logistics company, like some transport company, and you try to sell me a hydrogen truck, and you told me that I have to pre-order the truck now, and then I have to wait 4 years until you can build a hydrogen refueling station infrastructure, and then I have to pay twice as much to refuel my truck as I did for my diesel truck, which I just upgraded from, well, you're probably not going to be very convincing, right? So if you're investing in hydrogen technology for the hopes that it might work someday, well, by all means, go ahead. But I think you're taking kind of a big risk on that. And if you're like, okay, I'm willing to take on this big risk, maybe you should still invest in Hyliion instead. Because guess what? Hyliion actually has plans to introduce hydrogen fuel cell technology when it's ready. And that's the key phrase, right? When it's ready. So when you go back to the original investors presentation, we can see that Hyliion already had various discussions with other companies in the hydrogen technology field, such that they can be ready when the rest of the world is ready. So, it's on their radar, but they're not betting the house on it, right? So again, this is what I said before. They really understand the transportation industry and how it works. So this is why I'm so bullish on Hyliion. Anyways, once again, overall, this is great news for Hyliion and my fellow Hyliion shareholders. I'm personally going to continue to hold sold all my shares, and I haven't sold any. I'm not planning on selling any of my shares anytime soon. As to adding more shares, it's kind of a heavy position in my portfolio already. So, unfortunately, I'm not really in the market to add more shares of Hyliion either, but I think it's a solid hold for me for the long term. And I think that the stock is going to do well in time, right? You just got to give it more time. And I think that in the future, this could be a $200 stock. We just have to be a little bit more patient. So I'm going to leave the video here. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you like the series. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links down below in the description as always. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.